Akshay.
Yes, sir.
How do you pronounce your first name, Akshay?
Akshay.
Okay.
And how do you pronounce your full name?
Akshay Sanjay Mahadik.
Akshay, provide some interesting information about yourself, which is not covered in this diary.
Okay. My name is Akshay. I like to play cricket. Also, I have done my bachelorate from mechanical engineering from Mumbai University. Even I used to work for NGO also. The NGO was working for disabled people in Ratnagiri. Also, my interests are watching web series, movies, which I mentioned in DAF, but also I like to listen music also.
What kind of music do you like?
I like all types of music. It depends actually upon my mood, how my mood is. So I listen to every type of music.
Listen to Western classical.
I don't know exact proper genre, but I actually enjoy the beats actually.
Akshay, you must be aware about the crisis that
Is going on in Sri Lanka. Can you throw some light on that?
Okay. So Sri Lankan economic crisis, the reason for Sri Lankan economic crisis are many. First is impact of COVID-19, due to which many skilled laborers from many West Asian countries, other Asian countries came back, and there was large scale unemployment going in Sri Lanka. Also, Sri Lanka turned to organic farming. So it was disastrous decision taken by Sri Lankan government, because 100% organic farming was promoted. That's why food security was challenged. And also there was, due to COVID-19, tourism industry was also had bad impact, because Sri Lanka is island country. So tourism industry, COVID-19 and organic farming, it caused Sri Lankan economic crisis.
Okay. Akshay, do you have any idea that what is the export value of India in March 2022?
Can you highlight in quantum terms?
Sorry, sir.
You must be aware that there is a sudden surge in Indian exports, especially in the month of March 2022. Do you know the reasons for such a surge?
So one thing for the surge in exports of India to other countries, during Ukraine-Russia war, we exported wheat more to Ukraine and Russia. That was opportunity for India to export much. That one reason I know about March surge in export.
Do you use social media?
Yes.
Okay. What are the advantages of using social media?
Oops. Sir, social media is public good, so we can be there at free of cost. Its reach is universal, so you can impact many people within a seconds. Its advantages. And also social media is the way to connect with any other people from any part of world.
Do you have any idea how Government of India uses social media?
Sir, Government of India has separate wing for their promotion of schemes they launch, and also many Ministry of Agriculture websites. Also, many ministers have their own Twitter accounts through which they promote any scheme. Recently, yesterday only, Honorable Minister Nitin Gadkari tweeted about Mirai electric car, which is based on hydrogen fuel cell. So in this way, government uses social media.
Can you explain the working of an electric car?
Electric car basically works on electric motor. It replaces IC engine. There is a raw material for electric battery, that is lithium. Also, lithium electric battery works in the principle there is a cathode and anode, and its electrolyte solution through which electrons pass. So currently we have lithium. Also, many aluminum also can be used, but its research is going on. So electric vehicles basically works on charging. They require charging infrastructure.
Akshay, are you honest?
Yes.
So I'm expecting an honest reply from your side.
Yes.
What is your weakness?
My weakness is we can say it is a weakness. I overthink. So that's why I did Vipassana. I started Vipassana just because I overthink. So this is my weakness.
And highlight 3 values that anchor your personality.
I'm disciplined. I'm optimistic person, and I have integrity.
Okay. Can you recall an incident from your life where you have exhibited integrity?
Yes, sir. During COVID-19, when I was admitted into COVID-19 hospital, so there was my mother actually was serious, so she needed remdesivir. So there was 2 ways to get remdesivir, one through government channel and other way to give more money and get that remdesivir. But I chose government channel, though it take lot of efforts to take me. Even I contacted to district magistrate for that, but I didn't pay any money, which I could do, I could do, but I didn't do it.
Okay. You have never been employed. At least that is what information we get from your DAF. You completed your graduation in 2019.
Yes.
Any specific reason for not choosing employment after that?
So during last year of my mechanical engineering, I thought of giving civil service examination because I wanted to serve society and make impact on society. So to prepare for civil service examination, it took me 3 years to get where I am now.
Well, that is perfectly all right, Akshay. But you could have prepared for the examination parallelly. Many people do it, right? And many of them, they come out with flying colors. Don't you think that this showcases that you lack the skill of multitasking?
I don't lack skill of multitasking. I can multitask, but it was my choice to not to go for any employment because it wouldn't give me that satisfaction of job, and I don't do any particular thing just for sake of doing it. So even if I had a job, it would have not satisfied the requirements of company also, and it was against my thought process.
Well, if suppose you would have worked, then you could have gained first-hand experience of the industry. And that's a key skill set in modern day administration. Are you aware about the lateral entry program in civil services? And you see that how specialized people, they are encouraged to enter into the civil services. Now, I ask you the question one more time. If you get an opportunity to go back in time, would you like to work and prepare for the examination side by side if given opportunity?
No, sir.
Akshay, your extracurricular activities and interests are varied. One of your hobbies is watching movies. What kind of movies do you watch there?
Sir, actually, to be honest, I watch movies, those are trending. And also I watch movies which were liked by many audience. So there is not a particular genre I watch.
Have you watched The Bridge at the River Kwai?
No, sir.
Which movie have you watched recently?
Recently, I watched a Marathi movie called Pawan Khind. It was a story of one of the chieftain of Shivaji Maharaj, how he battled for Shivaji Maharaj and how he saved his life.
Okay. Highlight 2 values of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj ji, which you like.
Working for the society, because there was a quote that there is a letter published now also. There he had mentioned that don't do something that will hamper the society, especially poor people. And also he was a visionary leader.
Suppose you go into the services and you have been appointed in a district where malnourishment levels are acute. What changes will you make in the overall district planning that will help overcome this crisis?
Yes, sir. Sir, first I will look into what is the reason for malnutrition, because it may be that they are tribal people if they are tribal people, we can't just put all our mainstream society knowledge to them because they have their customary law. So first I will know the reasons, then I will use surplus of Food Corporation of India, and I ask for wheat and rice, and even fortified rice and the fortified rice and wheat which have many nutrients that will be supplied to children. And also midday meal scheme which as government has launched, that will be implemented in letter and spirit.
What are the components of a midday meal plate?
In midday meal there is a
Maharashtra.
in Maharashtra you get 1 or 2 eggs, even sometime milk and banana and rice and dal, and in different schools, because my mother is teacher, so in her teacher they also give chapati.
Thank you, Akshay.
Akshay. Akshay is a name which is one of the most common names in India. Tell me, what's the meaning of this name? Why is it so common?
So Akshay means eternal. Akshay means something which gets destroyed over the period of time, but Akshay is eternal.
Gets
Destroyed.
Perish.
perishes.
Akshay means. So
Akshay is eternal.
Why is it such a common name? It's the most common name in India, I suppose.
parents haven't thought of they didn't put that much effort.
Okay, you did
Your birth is the 2nd of January 98. This day is celebrated also as a special day. Do you have any idea?
I don't remember, sir.
Okay, do you remember or do you recall any birthdays of any very, very popular figures falling on this day? You're lucky that you share your birthday with Guru Gobind Singh's birthday, the 10th Guru of Sikhism. You are fond of cricket, you said, right? Raman Lamba, have you heard of him? He has played Test and ODIs for India. He also shares his birthday with you the same day, but he is remembered for something different. Do you have any idea what I'm referring to?
I'm not aware of it, sir.
You just talked about Shivaji. Okay, can you tell me 3 lessons that we can learn from the life of Shivaji?
First lesson we can learn from the life of Shivaji is we have to work for the society, especially vulnerable section of the society. We have to think of the poorest person who is the bottomest part of the society. Also, we have to strategize our foreign policy also, because Shivaji Maharaj was the first leader to recognize the threat of British army. So he didn't allow them to set up their factories in Maharashtra. Also, he was great strategist in he was great administrator also. He had divided his kingdom into 8 different ministries that time. So these are the 3 lessons we can learn from the life of Shivaji.
There was a particular art of warfare which he had started. What was it?
Guerrilla warfare.
You also appeared for the Central Armed Police Forces examination this year.
Yes.
What was the result?
But due to my injuries and I was ill, I couldn't go for physical test. That's why. Sorry, sir.
On account of?
I had back pain.
Lot of back pain. I couldn't stand. So, and also I had fear that time. My phase 2 was on 28 December. So I couldn't go for physical test.
Do you have any idea who's called as the father of the Indian Navy?
Sorry, sir. I am not aware of it.
You've done your graduation BE in mechanical engineering. So, how can a degree in engineering and mechanical engineering at that help you in performance of your civil services degree?
So civil service examination gives us opportunity for working in many different sectors. During COVID-19, we experienced that each and every decision of the administrator should be based on a scientific backing, because so engineering gives me that backing that I have to take decisions on the basis of facts and figures, not on my emotional any connect with that particular subject. Also, engineering gives me an edge over other people, that I can think out of box, I can think alternative solutions for that particular thing.
How do you say that? So other people cannot think out of the box, you say?
No, sir.
How does that help you in thinking out of the box?
For example, we had done final year project in active vibration control. There was only there was many things on that. There was many research going on that topic that time. But we thought of taking piezoelectric materials. That was the unique, and we completed the project. So that was out of box thinking I did in my engineering curriculum.
So out of box thinking is the main reason that you think is going to benefit out of your engineering degree.
So through my engineering degree, out of box thinking, decisions based on scientific backing or facts and figures, and also I have that leadership quality, because in my engineering I was head of many of the organizations held in college. So 3 qualities I can take through my engineering.
Tell me, when did you actually decide to join the civil services?
After my mechanical engineering, I really looked for a civil service examination. So I used to go through the syllabus, but actual first point of contact to civil service examination was my father. That from he's agriculture supervisor, so I have seen him working for farmers, and the smile of satisfaction the farmer gets after his work is done. So I had that emotional connect at that time, for that point of time. But after so many years, when I was in last year in mechanical engineering, I started to think about civil service examination.
Okay, you talked about farmer. Tell me, recently the 3 farm laws, they were introduced and then they were taken back. What are your views on that?
So recently, farm laws was based on APMC markets. They wanted to remove the monopoly of the APMC. In my opinion, farm laws were right step in that regard, because we should remove the monopoly of the APMCs, because if the intermediaries are increased, farmer won't get that much pricing. The reason for the government took it back was there was a communication gap between farmers and government. But if there were apprehensions in farmers' mind that MSP may get denied for them, but that was not the case. The main reason for taking back of the farmer protest was there was a communication gap between government and farmers.
Okay. There is one form which is called as it is touted as the universal remedy for universal life. What am I talking about?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able.
Okay, what is the meaning of Vipassana?
Vipassana is a Pali word. It really means how to see things as they are. It's a method of self-purification through self-observation.
Who's credited with starting this?
Vipassana was started by Gautam Buddha. It has origin in Theravada Buddhism, which is also called as Council of Elders. Theravada Buddhism, there is a book called Satipatthana Sutta. In that book, we find mention of Vipassana, and the technique comes from it.
Advantages that you have seen in your life after you started following this form of meditation?
Earlier, I could not sit for half an hour straight, but after doing my Vipassana courses, I have done 2 courses in Vipassana. After sitting for meditation for 3 hours, I now can easily sit for 3 or 4 hours without any distraction. Also, I started to observing things as they are, so I don't get nervous in stressful situations. I remain neutral, and I have that alternate view of particular seeing that particular thing without any emotional connect.
How is it different from mindfulness meditation?
So mindful meditation, in mindful meditation we focus on particular thing, but in Vipassana we just sense our pain. If we have a pain, the pain will go after some time. So it teaches us that just don't react to any stressful situation, and just be calm and take your decision wisely. There are 2 techniques in Vipassana. One is Anapan and other is Vipassana. In Anapan, we focus on breath, which is similar to mindful meditation, but Vipassana is different from mindful meditation.
Okay, you also you were captain of the cricket team in college, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what is the difference between an off break and an off spin?
Sorry, sir, I don't know.
Tell me what is the difference between swing and seam?
So swing means ball turns in air, and seam means the ball. If bowler is faster, we call it as a seam.
Are you sure?
No.
Were you a batsman or a bowler? Okay, then tell me, if you were a batsman, what is the difference between an over-pitched delivery and a half volley?
Sorry, sir, I don't know.
Okay, tell me if there is a ball which is ball to you, which is short pitched and on the leg side, coming at your waist height, or maybe a little higher than that. What shots do you think that you can play on a ball like that?
I can play pull. Also, I don't know exactly what the term it calls. So I know the shot, but I don't know term particular.
Okay. You were a batsman. You said there was a stroke which is called as a scoop. Who is credited with creating that shot, originator of that shot?
Scoop was created, it was Sri Lankan player, Dilshan.
His name was Dilshan.
Thank you, Akshey.
Akshay, your correspondence address has the mention of Nehru. Yes. How Nehru got its name? Nehru
Actually, it was earlier village, and I researched a lot, but I didn't get any origin, the reason for origin of its name.
What are satellite cities? So satellite city, Navi Mumbai is a satellite city. Mumbai, considering Mumbai is a metropolitan city, so around that metropolitan
City, many of the cities emerge because to just relax the load on main city. So satellite cities are around the main particular city.
Okay. What's the role of them? To cater more people, and also to act as a bridge between village and urban area. Okay. 50 years down the line, what challenges our cities will face?
50 years down the line, first major challenge cities will face is climate change. Recently we saw that Indonesian city Jakarta was under threat or due to climate change. So cities will be after 50 years, the main threat will be climate change. Also, unplanned urbanization may cause even traffic challenges will be there, and due to air pollution, due to vehicular emissions, the health of people may damage, and also many cities will also face urban heat island effect. Social challenges, sir. First major social challenges will be rising individualism, because in cities we find individualistic people rather than collective consciousness. So individualism is a social challenge, and also may also no sir, I am not able to.
Okay, you graduated in mechanical engineering. Tell me, what is machine learning?
So
Establish a linkage between machine learning and cyber physical systems.
So machine learning means there are many softwares we use, and the machine act as a human intelligence. It requires human intelligence, human intervention, but machine is autopilot mode. Machine learning it is called. There are two types of, one is machine learning and other is deep learning. In deep learning, the human intervention is minimum, but in machine learning, human intervention can be possible. And in cyber physical system, the machine learning is very useful, because to avoid any data manipulation, data threat, or breach of cyber security, machine learning is future.
What is cyber physical system? Sorry, sir, I can't define it properly. You are from Ratnagiri? Yes, sir. What is so special about Ratnagiri Am?
So Ratnagiri Alfonso has recently got GI tag. So it is different from many other mangoes growing in country, because it has juicy pulp. Also, it has large size. There are two Alfonso mangoes. One is Devgad Alfonso and another is Ratnagiri Alfonso. Devgad Alfonso has larger size and Ratnagiri Alfonso has smaller size. But comparative to other mangoes grown in country, they have sweeter taste and juicy pulp, which attracts the people more.
You are fond of web series. Yes. Do you think that your fondness for web series will hamper you in performing your duties as a civil servant? Because generally what I believe is that those who like web series, they prefer binge watching. That might create strain on your mind and your body. That will hamper your performance in civil services.
I don't think it would hamper my performance in civil services, because I don't do binge watching. I just watch 1 or 2 episodes. Whenever I have time, I watch it. I have fixed time for it. I am not addicted to any of these web series and movies. It's just for entertainment purpose, I watch it.
Okay, which was the last web series you watched?
Recently, I watched Vikings web series, which was streamed on Netflix. It is a story of Norway. It is a story in 9th and 10th century. So Vikings were a nomadic tribe, and the history of how they invaded English and how also they invaded Africa. So it's story of there.
You hail from Maharashtra. Yes. Maharashtra was recently new for wrong reasons, especially the extortion by police. So, what do you think could be a reason behind that, and how, if given a chance, what police reforms would you initiate so that such kind of things do not occur in future?
So recently, Maharashtra was in news due to many of the police extortion cases. In my opinion, the reason for that cases was there is growing political nexus between police and political parties. Also, we witnessed a lack of anti-corruption mechanism in state. So there is a SIT, there is an institute investigating agency called SIT for corruption. It is an anti-corruption wing of Maharashtra. It it don't have that much power which it requires. So if I'm given opportunity, I would strengthen the anti-corruption wing of Maharashtra. I even start anti-corruption cell, that each and every citizen would get opportunity. If even 1 rupee is asked from any police person, you just come to me and launch your complaint, and your name won't be disclosed. That anonymous complaint will be filed, and strict action against whoever finds, so that a example will be said that if anyone commits any extortion case, so he will be punished according to law.
Thank you. Sure, you put Indian Foreign Service as their fifth choice. It is that you would not like to represent India abroad. I would say.
Like to represent India at abroad, but the reason for putting Indian Foreign Service at fifth is because I want to work in India, because this is the place I have born and this is the place where I will die.
You would not like to work for India abroad, am I right? No, sir.
I would like to represent India at many of the esteemed organization, but I want to work for the grassroots level. I want to impact the society for this.
Why you did not fill up as a no top 10? In such case, UPSC will not select you as the Indian Foreign Service officer.
So I had a chance of putting that 99 so that it would get I won't get that service. But while feeling deaf, I was quite nervous, so I put it at fifth place.
That is no odds. So you were nervous. That's why you put up as a fifth choice. If you are selected and you will be allocated Indian Police Service, the second option, you will again say that okay, I was nervous at that time. That's why I put up this thing. No, sir.
Rest of the choices I have put in my own conscience. Only that was not just fifth reference. Considering other services which UPSC provides, UPSC doesn't differentiate in any service. All of the services are equally good and equally beneficial for the society.
Are you conscious or not?
Yes, I am conscious.
You can give your representation that if you are selected, you will not go for Indian Foreign Service at present. Will you give in writing?
No, sir.
Why? You are unconscious. If given an
Opportunity, I would do it.
there is opportunity. See, there is opportunity. Please give in the writing that I am I was in unconscious mode. That's why I put the Indian Foreign Service the fifth choice. Now I am in the conscious mode. So I request the UPSC chairperson. Okay, please kindly not allocate Indian Foreign Service to me. So I was not.
Unconscious, there is difference between unconscious and getting nervous.
So don't know about technicality aspect. Will you say in writing or not? No, sir.
I will work for it.
What is the cultural anthropology and what is linguistic anthropology?
Sir, in cultural anthropology, we study culture of many societies. There is a concept called cultural relativism, in which we see any other culture in their own point of view without any biases. In linguistic anthropology, we learn the languages of the tribal. We study the languages and how that languages are used in social context. So how that language builds a culture of people.
Anthropology is apply only for tribal.
Not just for tribal people. In India, we know that in every 15-kilometer language changes. So India is actually melting pot of languages. So in anthropology, we study all the societies, but tribal societies are more.
In Marathi.
So I don't know exact number of dialects.
Tell me sir, how many dialects in Marathi language. Don't approximate it.
So I can tell you I can tell you the dialect's name, but I don't know exact number. There is one
There is a one Marwari.
dialect which is spoken in Konkan region of Maharashtra. There is one Ghati dialect which is spoken in eastern part of Maharashtra. Also there is Solapuri dialect and there is a standard Marathi language which is spoken in urban parts of Maharashtra. Because as we go in urban Maharashtra, we find standard Marathi dialect.
What about the cultural anthropology of Maharashtra? If you study the Maharashtra on basis of cultural anthropology, how can you define the region and everything? In Maharashtra,
We find different cultures, even we find different religions, and all the religions, all the castes, and even tribal people of Maharashtra such as Bhil, Gond these are tribes in Maharashtra. All these caste, religion, and tribal cultures form a composite culture of Maharashtra, which defines the Maharashtra, and ultimately, Maharashtra's culture defines composite culture of India.
You are you have studied anthropology. Are you familiar about the human body also, organs and everything? Or yes. In the which organ which is not which has not any function in the body?
So the organs which are don't have any function in the body is called as vestigial organs. There is appendix, even ear has, and I can even one of the I can't recall its terminology, but these two I can recall now. Appendix.
Where your appendix is situated?
It's at the end of the it's a meeting point of the small intestine and large intestine.
How many bacteria in our body? Human body.
Billions of bacteria. So
The name the bacteria. Name.
sorry sir, I can't name it.
Is there any bacteria in the mouth?
Yes sir.
In the intestine?
I know that bacteria are present in our body, but I don't know exact the name of the bacteria.
You don't know about E. coli, Staphylococcus. Have you heard?
E. coli, but I was not sure that it is present in our body.
Tell me in the human behavior. It's present everywhere. It depends on the situation. Human behavior changes. So you studied the human behavior as an anthropologist.
We don't study human behavior, we study behavior of society.
Behavior in general. In general. Okay. How can you use your anthropology knowledge to change the behavior of society, particularly the girl education?
In anthropological knowledge, we can use it very well because anthropology believes in holistic approach, comparative approach, and cultural relativism, which I mentioned earlier. If girls' education can be improved by just because some societies think that girls can't go to school. There is some apprehensions about in parents, so we can anthropologize them by making them aware of the need of girl education and gender equality between boy and girl.
See, have you watched the Sarat movie? Similar incident may happen in your district. You are district administrator. Now you would like to convince the society using anthropology knowledge and convince them that they have done wrong.
Sir, in anthropology, we can there is a term called racism. As an anthropology student, we deny it because we find each and every human being is equal genetically, and there is no any superior bias mentioned. There is no any superior bias in any other human being. That one we can make aware to the people, and also we can make aware people that there is a term called inbreeding. So as anthropology student, we know that inbreeding is harmful and we should follow intercaste marriages because in our Indian society, with the growth of during period of time, now caste basis is not relevant today because the caste is getting into class status in many urban areas. It has rigidity, and it may have rigidity in rural areas, but in urban areas caste is getting replaced by class system. So we can help them through this way.
You work for the disabled people, including children. Am I right? Yes. Through NGO in Ratnagiri. There is an act for the disabled. Can you name it?
So I don't know exact name of the act.
But it was launched in 2016. It's repealed in 2016. It was not launched in 2016. You understand repealed? Yes. What does it mean?
Taken back or
There was an act. There are some amendments. There were some amendments in 2016. It's a new act. So what are the type of disabilities included in new act? Yesterday, say was 2nd April, it was autism day. Do you know the autism? Autism spectrum disorder. You don't. It is included in 2016. Have you watched the movie My Name is Khan?
No, sir, I haven't watched it.
No, sir.
So how many many type of disabilities you are aware about?
Blind. Then
You work only for blind?
yes, there is a NGO in Mandangad Taluka in Ratnagiri district, which they have school for blind students. They have blind students there only. So I even took one class for them.
So now you are district administrator, you would like to build a government building. Okay, you work with this of the blind people. What instruction will you compulsory give to the builder that this thing must be have in the building?
First of all, I will tell the builder that all the buildings and all the equipments in the complex should be blind friendly, because they can just sense they have that stick, and also brains. I'm not able to recollect the exact term for that.
I'm not asking about the terms, and I'm asking simple. Have you seen in any other building which is you can say the blind friendly building? How can you say that this building is blind friendly? How can you say that?
It doesn't have that much fluctuations in slope.
If the blind people will enter the building, how he or she will feel that this is my environment? How? What is the main source of communication? Through that touch. If they would like to use the lift, how they can use the lift?
They can just
See the Braille language. They have that they have their language, which we can put on.
Seen in the any lift this type of the language?
in buttons we can find it.
Have you seen it in the lift?
No, sir,
Have you watched it?
I have watched it.
So there is a lift, there is a number in the braille lipi.
Yes, brain. That term I was brain.
Akshay, one final question before we end this interaction. You have captained your mechanical department cricket team. Whom do you admire as a captain in cricket?
MS Dhoni,
And what do you like about him? Spell in one word.
Captain Cool.
Thank you, Akshay. Your interview is over. We will reconnect with you in some time for your feedback. Akshay, let us understand first that what is the purpose of the personality test. The personality test is not a test of your knowledge. Your knowledge has already been tested in prelims and in the mains. In personality test, these things UPSC is checking, and you can note them down. First, whether you are inquisitive or not. Do you have the ability to analyze issues? Are you a problem solver? Do you have a rational approach? Do you respond or you react? Do you have balance of opinion? Do you heavily incline towards one political or economic ideology? Do you have intellectual depth? Can you help in the delivery of social justice? What is your temperament and approach towards life? Are you alert? Do you listen properly? Can you engage with multiple stakeholders? Okay, so these are the things which UPSC is looking for. So whether you give a right answer or a wrong answer, well, it doesn't matter so much, especially when the question is related to current affair or something like that, because Akshay, it is not expected that everybody will know everything under the sun and beyond it, right? Where you should not commit any mistake is the things that emanate from this paper which you have submitted. Because if you are not in command of the information that you have supplied, this will be construed as you do not think before you supply your information. If you have included a hobby, you should know inside out about that. Some of your answers were very good. You have decent communication skills. You are very appropriately dressed. And do you intend to wear the same combination on the day of interview?
This is a white.
Yes, that would be better.
One white set, so it was meant for dry cleaning. So
That would be better. That would be better.
I will.
Okay, and the length of your tie, it is not properly tied. The lower flap, its length is more than the one which is on the top. It gives a clumsy appearance. ऐसा लगता है that you are not in control of yourself, right? Are you shaved? Have you shaved properly?
The day before yesterday.
No, that should not be the way. On the day of interview, you should shave very properly. Why am I saying so, Akshay? Because this is a full dress rehearsal. Even the army jawans who are heavily regimented, yet they do a full dress rehearsal before they go for the 26th January parade. So you should take this mock drill very seriously so that it is ingrained in your mind. This is how I need to present myself, right? Then, eye contact was not appropriate. Actually, the right way of having an eye contact is when somebody asks you the question, you should look into that person's eyes, but softly, do not stare. And once the question is finished, wait for a few seconds because there could be a supplementary question or there could be an explanation of the question, which will further assist you in answer writing, in giving your answer, right? Also, look at this, that once the question is finished, what you have to do is, you should slightly lower your gaze. It gives an impression as if you're processing the content, you're organizing your thoughts, you're articulating your material, and then you are in the process of presenting. Do not just shoot. Some of the answers were too ready, and you just shot them without giving a good thought over the question, right? So do not do that. And while you are answering, you should start answering by looking at the person who has asked you the question. Like suppose if you ask me, have you had your lunch today? And I start answering by looking at him. Is this the right way of having communication? No. So you should answer by looking at the person who has asked you the question primarily. 70 to 80% of the looks should be dedicated to that person. But rest of the 30 to 20 to 30%, you divide it among different members of the board so that they do not feel offended. Otherwise, they may take offense of it and they may award you very low marks. And you know that the final mark is an average of the marks given by all the members. तो किसी एक ने भी अगर आपको बहुत बुरा मार्क्स दे दिया तो बिल्कुल नीचे आ जाओगे. Do you get that? So keep that thing in mind better. Next is your answers were a bit long. Sometimes you kept going on and on. You did not stop, right? Nobody is interested in such long answers. Answers should be very precise. And for that, what you do is try to cut down the background that you build before you start answering. Like, do you love paneer butter masala? And if you start answering, I love many types of food items, and paneer butter masala is definitely one of them. Rather, just say, yes, I love it. Be very precise, right? That's an important trait of an administrator, because time is an important resource in bureaucracy. Your answers in and around the cadre thing was disastrous. Cadre and rather order of preference thing was disastrous, right? आप पहले बता रहे थे कि I was not in my conscience when I filled it. Then
Nervous.
nervous. फिर आपने वो किया. I was not fully conscious. It was not a conscious choice. You said this at least. Others were conscious choice. You used this line, right? So never do that. Confrontation में क्यों जा रहे हो? आप डिफेंड नहीं कर पाए अपने आप को, और नहीं भी कर पाओगे वहां पे भी.
मैंने बोला था अपने मतलब भी
अच्छा आंसर क्या होगा अक्षय? अच्छा आंसर ये होगा, सर आई हैव जस्ट एक्सरसाइज्ड द my right to give a preference because UPSC has conferred that right upon me, but I'm more than willing to serve in any part of the country in any capacity.
even outside the
Do you understand that? I have no inhibitions. ये बताओ. The idea is to check whether you are trainable material or not. आप तो prejudice लेकर आ रहे हो सिस्टम में. मैं बाहर नहीं जाऊंगा. आपको क्या पता बाहर जाकर इंडिया को कितना सर्व कर सकते हो आप? और अगर बोर्ड में कोई IFS बैठा हो तो वैसे सर IFS है, ठीक है, तो सोचो क्या कॉग्निजेंस ले लेंगे आपका और दे देंगे आपको बहुत पूरा मार्क्स. अच्छा एक बात बताओ, ही इज IFS ऑफिसर एंड वेयर इज ही सिटिंग नाउ? न्यू दिल्ली, है ना? सो यू इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी दैट इफ यू बिकम एन IFS ऑफिसर आपको बाहर ही जाना पड़ेगा. इंडिया में रह के भी बहुत कुछ काम हो सकता है. यू गेट इट? सो कीप दैट थिंग इन माइंड. देन योर नॉलेज अराउंड क्रिकेट वाज वेरी पुअर. आपने सीम बॉलिंग तो बहुत ही बुरे तरीके से डिफाइन किया कि जो फास्ट बॉलिंग करते हैं वही सीम बॉलर्स. सीम इज दैट वो जो सिलाई होती है, ठीक है, वो पिच से पड़ के बॉल टर्न होता है, जो जिसे कहते हैं क्रॉस सीम, अपराइट सीम, सुना है ये टर्म्स, है ना? और स्विंग जो है वो हवा में होती है, वो आपने सही बोला. शाइनी साइड एंड द रफ साइड. और रिवर्स स्विंग क्या होता है ये भी पता करो. आपके डायट में जो भी लिखा है उससे कुछ भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. सो बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट. Otherwise, I think your performance was very decent. If you work on these areas, Akshay, then you are surely making it. Right? I have a hunch that you are in this year if you work on these areas. And take this feedback very positively. Right? You can hold your questions, let other members give their feedback, then you can ask questions. So,
Akshay, very well dressed, and if you go to change your shirt, even better. Good. One thing I was a little surprised was you started opening your coat button right at the door.
they told me that they would
Agreed, but that does not mean you will open the button of your coat at that time. The buttons of the coat are only open when you sit down. And they are again buttoned up when you rise. Right? You made a mistake both the times. So remember that.
sir, sorry, sir, the way he entered, you were like bending over like this. May I get in? Something like that. Present yourself fully. Slightly open the door, stand erect. Sir.
So the bottom flap of your tie is longer. Now why is it so? Because the tie is long. Your tie should actually be a wee bit shorter. थोड़ा ऊंचा होना चाहिए. तो अगर आप थोड़ा ऊंचा करोगे तो क्या होगा, आपका पीछे वाला जो फ्लैप है और लंबा हो जाएगा, है कि नहीं? तो क्या करोगे आप? नहीं, tie is excellent. Don't change the tie. Well, the lower flap, tuck it inside your shirt. The top button and the collar button and the top button के बीच में जो जगह है उसमें से डाल के tuck it inside, जो कि बाहर दिखाई ना. Right? So it should not be visible. That's a basic idea. अगर आप पीछे कर दोगे तो कहाँ दिखेगा? दिखेगा ही नहीं ना. So you have a very good smile. Keep it throughout the. कई जगह पे I felt you were feeling a little flustered, and when you felt flustered, आपकी smile गायब हो जाती थी. So we could make out when are you tense, when you are comfortable, right? So it's a very big giveaway. Smile is a very big giveaway. ठीक है? So it cuts both ways. पता भी चलता है अच्छा है, पता भी चलता है कि बुरा है. So remember that. तो आपका in the beginning your head was tilted. Don't keep your head tilted. That's a sign of nervousness. Head should be erect. That is a sign of confidence. Right? Answers आपके बहुत लंबे थे. Eye contact was very poor. बता दिया गया आपको. Knowledge about cricket was as a hobby. Definitely.
It's not his hobby, but he has included it as
Sorry.
sports and
as a
enthusiasm.
sports, as a sports activity. So it's disastrous. अब रामन लांबा के बारे में मैंने आपको पूछा. Raman Lapa has played cricket for India. ठीक है? And he is the cricketer who lost his life on the cricket field. He was hit by a shot and he died. So आपको पता होना चाहिए. It's a very major thing, isn't it? How many players do you know who have lost their life on the cricket field? What is his name? Philip. What?
Name I forgot.
It is Phil Hughes.
Phil Hughes.
तो you should know that ना. तो अगर रामन लामा के बारे में पूछेंगे तो क्या पता फिल ह्यूज के बारे में भी क्वेश्चन आ जाए. तो you should have that idea as such. ठीक है? ओवर पिच एंड हाफ वॉली आपको नहीं पता. बैट्समैन्स डिलाइट. ऑफ वॉली इज अ बैट्समैन्स डिलाइट. तो एनीवे, तो नॉलेज अबाउट क्रिकेट थोड़ा ब्रश अप कीजिए प्लीज. योर डेट ऑफ बर्थ का नॉलेज. What is this day celebrated as? What is whose birthday is any? As I told you, 10th Sikh Guru's birthday was on the same day as yours. You should be very happy about it, very proud about it. ठीक है? और देखो, इस interview में all the questions that are going to be asked to you, 90% of them will be from your dad. You have to brush up every word of your dad. Then communication skills were good, character choice was bad, and I felt कि in a couple of instances you were getting into a confrontation mode. जहाँ पे नजर आया कि participants को, panelists को कि you are entering into a confrontation mode, you can write off your chances. Do not get into a confrontation, come what may. Coolly withdraw. The moment you see that there is a possibility of a confrontation arising, just withdraw. What is more dear to you?
As in marks.
Clearing the
Clearing, sir.
interview
No,
or
clearing.
making your point?
No, clearing.
Remember that. So this is all from my side. And one more thing, your hair, it better be a little more well kept. ठीक है, अच्छी तरह से कंघी वंगी करो, जूतों को पॉलिश करो. और सॉक्स मैंने जो थोड़ा बहुत नजर किया, तो आपका आई थिंक देयर इज अ बिग डिजाइन ऑन योर सॉक्स. If you just raise your pants a little bit, oh my God, बिल्कुल नहीं चलेगा. I think I saw a design on your socks also. Design भी है.
डिजाइन भी है.
हाँ, देखो डिजाइन भी है पीछे. Socks should be
Formal, long.
long socks. ठीक है, ये तो स्पोर्ट्स हो के चल जाता है, वॉक के लिए जा रहे हो, पार्टी में जा रहे हो, पहन जाते हो. Not for a formal occasion like this, right? So socks have to be, and they should be the grip should be tight, and it should be the skin should not be visible even if you sit down. That's the point. Printed designs, no,
Plain socks.
Plain socks.
And dark color.
ठीक है, black suit है आपका, ये dark blue है, ये looks black to me.
Black.
So have black socks, plain simple black socks, no problem at all. ठीक है. Otherwise, believe you me, keep these things in mind. You will definitely do well. And the basic purpose of giving you such detailed debrief is only with the intention of helping you clear the interview.
Remove all my. I will try to improve myself.
See,
Sir.
wherever it is about design, dress, and all that, you can do it.
Yes, sir.
But बाकी जहाँ पे आपको you have to sharpen your
Knowledge.
knowledge.
I will do it.
When is your interview by the way?
11th April.
You have about 10 days with you. No, about 9 days with you. ठीक है. All the very best, dear.
Actually, your communication skills are very good. You have knowledge about anthropology. You also mentioned about the work with the disabled people. और there are some problems. Problem क्या है? जब मैंने आपको एंथ्रोपोलॉजी के क्वेश्चन पूछे, you answered longer, little longer. प्रॉब्लम उससे भी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है. आपने काउंटर क्वेश्चन मुझसे किया जब मैंने आपको पूछा लिंग्विस्टिक डायलेक्ट पूछा, ठीक है, आपको डायलेक्ट बोल देने थी ना कि ये डायलेक्ट वो डायलेक्ट. enumerate 4 to 5. Okay. I have not asked the number. Enumerate this as a dialect. So it shows that you have some kind of knowledge. Say for example, अगर आपको 6 मराठी में अगर 6 डायलेक्ट है, आप 4 का नाम बोल रहे हो, 2 का नहीं आ रहा है, सामने वाले को पता तो चलेगा. आप काउंटर क्वेश्चन कर रहे हो कितने डायलेक्ट, तो उसका मतलब ये है कि इसको सब कुछ पता नहीं, इसलिए काउंटर क्वेश्चन कर रहा है. ये मैसेज गलत जा रहा है. The second thing is that, see, you are more, your answers are more on theoretical aspect. It's the personalities. Have you seen this movie 3 Idiots?
Yes.
What is machine?
That can
Now you are also giving the answer the same line, na?
two different ones. Theoretical.
Theoretical and the practical one. So the theoretical they have already tested in mains. So now you give the live example. Why ask you about why I ask you about dialect? Because if you study anthropology, particular cultural linguistic anthropology, now visible, go and see what have you studied. It is visible in outside or not. I ask you if you are the administrator and you are going to instruct a builder about disable friendly building, आप बता ही नहीं पा रहे तो ये ब्रेल लिपि के साथ सब जगह लिखा होना चाहिए, तो वो टच करके बता सकते हैं, उसको पता चल सकता है कि ये मतलब डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर का ऑफिस है, किसका ऑफिस है. समझ रहे हो आप? ये बेसिक थिंग्स है, आपने कहीं नोटिस नहीं किया इसका मतलब.
वहाँ पे मुझे पता था, इवन मुझे और 3 सॉल्यूशन मुझे पता थे कि वी कैन पुट अ ऑडियो सिग्नल्स और देयर इज न्यू मशीन इन्वेंशन, बट कैसे वो ब्रेन पे का जो वर्ड था, मेरा एक प्रॉब्लम है सर, आई टेंड टू
Stop at one point.
That we have already discussed, that your problem is about, that's why I told you, your answer is more on the theoretical basis because you are on following the mains pattern. This is not a mains pattern, it's a personality test. जितना प्रैक्टिकल आंसर दोगे ना थोड़ा बहुत भी, तो वो अच्छा लगेगा. It indicates that you have applied your brain to understand the ground reality. छोटी छोटी बातों से तो आप होता क्या है कि भाई if you don't think about little things, okay, your brain will think more complex thing. But complex thing की जरूरत कहाँ है? छोटी चीजों से ज्यादा आसानी रहती है. Complex things are different. You understand? What are the complex things? Complex is like that the building is dedicated to the blind people. We will like to formulate the policy. We would like to formulate the programs. Are the complex things. हर एंगल से सोचना पड़ता है. इसलिए आप ऐसा नहीं है कि आज मेरा मन हुआ और मैं मतलब पॉलिसी बना दूं, ये बना दूं. ठीक है. The autism included in 2016, it's a long battle. After long battle, it was repealed and autism was included. Even autism was notified in the earlier. It was not included in the rights. So ये बैटल होती है, वो इतनी आसान है. तो एक्ट में डालने के लिए टाइम लगा, बट ऐसा नहीं था कि जो एनवायरनमेंट था ऑटिज्म फ्रेंडली बनाने के लिए कोई कोशिश नहीं की जा रही थी, वो कोशिश की जा रही थी. ठीक है. यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से? तो पहले छोटी सी बात का भी सोचना सीखो, वो आपको ज्यादा हेल्प करेगी एज कम्पेयर टू लार्जर थिंग.
अक्षय कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं आप?
So my speed should be fast or slower? Speed of talking.
At times, I felt you are stopping and starting as you're speaking. See, 2 things matter in communication. First, you have to be precise. Do not beat around the bush. Secondly, you have to lay emphasis on words which are carrying more weightage. There has to be some sort of voice modulation. Yeah, it should not be monotonous. Otherwise, after a point in time, it becomes very difficult to understand or keep track of what you are saying. Do not be very monotonous. Do not be very short. Why your answers got long? Because you were building the background. And then when I asked you 3 values or something like that, just shoot them. 1, 2, 3. And then you can say, sir, if you allow me, I would like to elaborate why I have chosen these values. Suppose your senior calls you over the phone and says, Akshay, how is the ground situation there? I have heard that a riot has broken out. तो आप बोल रहे हो, sir, many types of problems exist in our district. One of them is communal riots. तो फोन रख देगा. मैं आपको बिल्कुल असली बात करनी है, उसके बाद वेट कर. In interview, you have to come up with your best point as your first point, because maybe you will not get the opportunity to speak the second point. क्योंकि हो सकता है दूसरा क्वेश्चन आ जाए. मेंस में क्या करते हैं, हम रुकते हैं, आखिरी में कंक्लूजन बेस्ट होना चाहिए. यहाँ पे पहला पॉइंट ही सबसे बेस्ट होना चाहिए. और इसलिए ध्यान से सुनो क्वेश्चन को. अगर आप क्वेश्चन नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो एक क्लैरिफिकेशन मांग लो आप. जैसे सर ने कई बार आपसे पूछा क्वेश्चन, आप सर को दोहराना भी पड़ा, तो आप एक बार पूछ लो, सर आई हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड द क्वेश्चन. It would be very nice of you if you could provide a clarification for the question. This shows you are humble, right? That should be. Anything else, dear?
No, sir, that was enough, sir.
Now, if you have to rate your own performance, self-assessment is the first step towards progress. How would you rate your performance? Average, below average, or above average?
Average.
155 as far as this interaction was concerned. But if you work on these areas, dear, then there would be a quantum jump here. You can add 30-35 more marks to it easily. At least I'm saying. उससे ऊपर भी जा सकते हो. Things that go in your favor, वो भी आपको जान लेना चाहिए. First, you are very young. You're only 24, right?
It's just I turned.
हाँ, you have just turned 24 years or 3 months or 2 months, something like that. 2 months, few days you are. And then you have a good background. You have done mechanical engineering. It means you have some knowledge about technology, engineering, which are the buzzwords today in administration.
I have that question also.
Yes,
How can you use your engineering? Can you usko bhi?
improve that answer. This is your second attempt. So you have reached interview at an early stage of your preparation. That's an advantage. Your hobbies are quite widespread. Your best answer, I felt, was around Vipassana. Those answers were very good, right? You explained everything. In fact, that is the highlight of this interview. And how you handled the question of binge watching around web series. So that is what we are interested in. We are not interested in which movie or which character, but how do you visualize the things, right? That is what we are more interested in. So, ये लेखा जोखा रहा आपकी परफॉर्मेंस का. बट अगर आप मेहनत करेंगे अक्षय, तो ये आगे बढ़ जाएगा. And best wishes from our side. And we hope that when the results would be out, we will find Akshay, Sanjay, Mahadik in that list, right? And at top ranks.
एक पॉइंट मैं ऐड करना चाहता हूँ. जो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी आपके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आ रही है वो आपको पता है, लिखने लिखने की जरूरत भी नहीं है, वो आप ही ने इंडिकेट की. ठीक है, वाई there is complexity in your answer because you have overthink. ठीक है, एक साइंटिस्ट है, ठीक है, एक स्टोरी है. एक साइंटिस्ट ने अपने दरवाजे में एक डोर बनाया छोटा बिल्ली को जाने के लिए. पास में दूसरा डोर बनाया उसके बच्चे को जाने के लिए. इस दरवाजे से बिल्ली जा सकती है, उस दरवाजे से बच्चा भी जा सकता है. उसने दूसरा बना. You understand what I'm trying to say? तो ओवरथिंकिंग जब करता है ना इंसान, तो उसको सिंपल सॉल्यूशन नहीं पता होता.
In fact, you admitted
हाँ,
this
that's
as one
admitted.
of your weaknesses.
तो आपका कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी का ये रीजन है. अगर मानिए कई बार है ना बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स सिचुएशन हमें लगती है, बट उसी का अगर आप गांव में जाओ किसी किसान से पूछ लो, वो सिंपल सॉल्यूशन दिखा देगा. आपको लगेगा अरे यार मैंने तो ये सोचा ही नहीं था, समझ रहे हो आप कॉम्प्लेक्स क्यों कर रहे हैं? देखो एक बात आपको एक्सेप्ट करनी पड़ेगी, यू आर कमिंग इन जनरलाइज फील्ड, इट इज नॉट अ स्पेशलाइज फील्ड। आप साइंटिस्ट नहीं बनने वाले, ठीक है? अगर साइंटिस्ट बनने के लिए कहा होता तो इसरो में जाना चाहिए ना आपको, समझ रहे हो? ऐसा नहीं है कि इंडिया में साइंटिस्ट के लिए ऑप्शन नहीं है, इसरो में जाओ, ठीक है? एज अ वो साइंटिस्ट मेडिकल रिसर्च में आप जा सकते हो, अगर डॉक्टर बन के जाना चाहते हो उसमें भी स्कोप है, बट आप उस बात को यहाँ ड्रैग नहीं कर सकते ना। यू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से? दोनों बातों को कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं कर सकते कि भाई मेरे को मतलब आइए एज अ कलेक्टर है ना, मेरे को स्पेस में चंद्रयान मतलब करवाना है, ये करवाना नहीं, ये नहीं हो सकता है। उसका मेन काम ग्राउंड रियलिटी ग्रास रूट लेवल पे काम करने का है, ठीक है? छोटी छोटी बातों से भी कई सारे सॉल्यूशन निकल जाते हैं, समझ रहे हो? तो आप ओवर थिंकिंग है ना, वो आपको ये कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी में डालेगा और आपको प्रॉब्लम देगा। सिंपल पूछना शुरू कीजिए।
फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में क्या हुआ था अक्षय?
साइंटिस्ट में प्रीलिम्स में
0.66
स्टेक्स थोड़े ऊपर
हो गए
डोंट
यू, आपने बहुत ज्यादा प्रेशर खुद पे बना लिया है, करना ही है, सिलेक्ट होना ही है। मन में कहीं ना कहीं वो फीलिंग आने लगी है कि व्हाट इफ आई मिस, है ना? गेट रिड ऑफ दैट फील, गो देयर, एंजॉय द सिचुएशन, यू आर यंग, योर पर्सनैलिटी इज वेरी डिसेंट, यू आर पोलाइट and you have all the skills to go into the bureaucracy. Best wishes.
चेहरे पे स्माइल रखो यार, डोंट गेट perturbed, डोंट गेट अपसेट, डोंट गेट ओवर।
नहीं हुआ तो दूसरी बात देखिए इसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम है।
नहीं पड़ेगा तुम्हें।
हाँ, बट सोच में तो कॉन्फिडेंस उस हिसाब से रखने का, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है।